The world is holding its breath, and you are watching the news in fear. This is not just another headline. This is not just another conflict in a distant land. This is the moment the ground beneath our feet feels like it's shifting. This is the moment the air feels thick with uncertainty. You feel it, don't you? That knot in your stomach, that tightness in your chest, the fear that this time, it might be different, the fear that this time, the flames might not be contained. You see the maps with flashing arrows, you hear the analysts with their grim predictions, you see the words imminent, and escalation, and retaliation. And you wonder, where does it end? Where do we go from here? When the missiles fly, and the threats are shouted from the world stage, it feels like we are powerless. It feels like we are just spectators in a game of geopolitical chess. But I am here today to tell you that you are wrong. You are not powerless. In fact, what I am about to share with you is the single most important thing you will hear all week. It is the key to not just surviving this anxiety, but to thriving within it. This is not a speech about war. This is a speech about you. This is about the war that rages inside you. The war between fear and courage. The war between despair and hope. The war between apathy and action. And today we are going to win that war. We are going to arm you with the most powerful weapon known to mankind, not a weapon of destruction, but a weapon of creation, your mind, your spirit, your unbreakable will. So, lean in close, turn up the volume. And if you are ready to transform your fear into fuel, then this message is for you. Stay with me until the end, because what comes next will change everything. Let's begin. Look at the world right now. It seems chaotic, it seems unpredictable. One day there is peace, the next day, there are missiles. We build our lives on what we think is solid ground. We build our careers, our families, our dreams. We think we are safe, we think we are secure. And then, a news alert breaks, and the foundation cracks. We are reminded of how fragile it all is, how quickly it can all change. This feeling, this anxiety, it is not new. It is the oldest human story. The story of facing the unknown. Our ancestors felt it when they heard the thunder and saw the lightning. They didn't understand it, they feared it. They felt it when they saw the footprints of a predator outside their cave. The fear for their safety. The fear for their family. They felt it when they sailed into uncharted waters, not knowing what lay beyond the horizon. Only the vast, terrifying ocean. That same primal fear is what you feel today, when you see the headlines about missiles and military bases. It is the fear of the storm you cannot control. It is the fear of the predator you cannot see. It is the fear of sailing into a future that seems dark and dangerous. But here is the truth our ancestors learned. The truth that built civilizations. The storm does not last forever. The predator can be outsmarted. The uncharted ocean leads to new worlds. The fear does not define you. Your response to the fear defines you. Do you hide in the cave forever? Or do you learn to build a fire to keep the predators away? Do you stay on the shore, staring at the water? Or do you build a ship and set sail? The world today is your uncharted ocean. The headlines are your storm, and you have a choice. You have always had a choice, to be paralyzed, or to be propelled. Let me tell you a story about two brothers. They lived in a village that was constantly under threat from a neighboring tribe. Raids were common. Fear was a constant companion. The first brother, let's call him Cain, lived in a state of perpetual anxiety. He would lay awake at night, listening for the sound of footsteps. He spent his days reinforcing the walls of his house higher and higher. He hoarded food, he hid his valuables. His entire life became about the threat. He stopped farming, he stopped socializing, he stopped living. He was so focused on defending against the potential attack that his life became a prison of his own making. He was safe, perhaps, but he was not alive. The second brother, let's call him Abel, saw the same threat. He felt the same fear, but he made a different choice. He said, I cannot control if they attack, but I can control how strong we are when they do. He did not just build walls, he built relationships. He went to the other villagers, he organized a watch system, he trained with a spear, not with hatred in his heart, but with a love for his community. He continued to farm, he continued to sing. He continued to fall in love. He acknowledged the danger, but he refused to let it dictate the rhythm of his soul. He built a life so vibrant, so full of purpose, that the threat became just a background noise. One day the raiders came. They saw Cain's house fortified and isolated. They saw it as a challenge, a fortress filled with treasure. They besieged it and eventually they broke through. They saw Abel's village, united, trained and living openly. They saw a community that was strong, not brittle, a community that was alive, not just hiding. They saw the strength in their eyes and they moved on. It was not a weaker target, it was a stronger one. The world right now is that raiding party. The headlines are the sound of their footsteps. You can be Cain. You can build higher walls of fear around your mind. You can hoard your mental energy in a state of panic. You can let the threat become the entirety of your existence. Or you can be Abel. You can acknowledge the danger, but refuse to be defined by it. You can build inner strength. You can build a community of hope. You can live with such purpose and passion that the external chaos loses its power over you. The missiles might fly. The politicians might argue, but your soul does not have to be their battlefield. Your mind does not have to be their war zone. You can choose to build a life so powerful, so meaningful, that no external conflict can shatter it. This is the first lesson, the fortress of the mind. You must build it now. Not when the war comes, not when the crisis hits, now. Because a fortress built in peace can withstand any war. A fortress built in war is just a pile of rubble. How do you build this fortress? You start with the bricks of discipline. Discipline is not a punishment. Discipline is freedom. The freedom from your own weaknesses. The freedom from your own fears. When you have the discipline to control your morning, you take control of your day. When you have the discipline to control your thoughts, you take control of your life. While the world is screaming in panic, your discipline allows you to whisper in focus. You wake up at the same time every day. You move your body. You feed your mind with knowledge, not just with news alerts. You create a routine that is unshakable. This routine becomes your anchor in the storm. The second brick is gratitude. Gratitude in the face of fear is the ultimate act of rebellion. It is easy to be grateful when everything is perfect. The test of your spirit is to be grateful when everything seems to be falling apart. You are breathing. You have a roof over your head. You have people you love. Find 3 things to be grateful for right now. As you listen to this, feel it. Don't just list it. This gratitude shifts your energy. It moves you from a state of lack to a state of abundance. An abundant mind cannot be conquered by fear. A grateful heart cannot be occupied by despair. The third brick is purpose. What is your mission? What is the one thing you are put on this earth to do? If you don't know, your mind will be filled with the purposes of others. Their agendas, their conflicts, their wars. But when you have a North Star, a purpose that burns so brightly inside you, the noise of the world fades into the background. You become like a ship with a destination. The waves may crash against you, the wind may howl, but you are moving forward. You are headed somewhere. The chaos becomes just weather. It is not your direction. So I ask you again, what is your purpose? If you don't know, your first mission is to find it. This fortress you build brick by brick, day by day. It will make you unconquerable. Not because bad things won't happen, but because when they do, you will have a place to stand, a stronghold within yourself that no missile can touch. Now let's talk about the missiles. The news says they are targeting bases. But what are the real targets? The real target is your peace. The real target is your hope. The real target is your belief in a better tomorrow. They are not just firing rockets at buildings. They are firing fear into your heart. And you have a choice. You can be a victim of that psychological warfare. Or you can be a warrior for your own peace. Think of the most resilient person you know. Maybe it's a grandparent who survived a war. Maybe it's a friend who beat cancer. Maybe it's a single parent who worked 3 jobs to provide. What did they have? They had a reason to keep going. They understood a fundamental law of the universe, the law of focus. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. If you focus on the conflict, you feed the conflict inside you. You give it your mental energy, your emotional power. If you focus on the solution, you feed the creator inside you. You give your power to building, to healing, to moving forward. Right now, the entire media ecosystem is designed to steal your focus. The clickbait headlines, the dramatic music, the 24/7 news cycle, it is a machine that runs on your attention, and it pays for that attention with your peace of mind. You must take back control. You must become the gatekeeper of your own mind. You are not obligated to consume the panic. You are not required to watch every update. Stay informed, yes. But do not become immersed. Protect your mental space like it is the most valuable territory in the world, because it is. This is the second lesson. The battle for your attention. You must win this battle every single day, because the side that controls your attention controls your life. Now let's go deeper. Let's talk about history. Look back. Look back through the pages of time. Has there ever been a time of perfect global peace? No. There have always been conflicts. There have always been wars. There have always been empires rising and falling. There have always been moments that felt like the end of the world. The Black Plague, the World Wars, the Cold War, and the constant threat of nuclear annihilation. Our parents, our grandparents lived through moments of existential dread. They stared into the abyss. And yet, here you are, a product of their resilience, a product of their hope. They found a way to build families. They found a way to create art. They found a way to innovate and push humanity forward. They did not let the darkness extinguish their light. They carried the torch, and now the torch is being passed to you. This is your moment to carry it. This is your test. Will you be the generation that gave up because the headlines were scary? Will you be the generation that surrendered its dreams to the fear of conflict? Or will you be the generation that found a way? The generation that in the face of uncertainty built a better world. The challenges are different, but the human spirit is the same. The same courage that lived in your grandparents lives in you. You just have to awaken it. You have to choose it. This is not about denying the reality of the world's problems. This is about affirming the reality of your own power, your power to choose, your power to act, your power to create. Let me tell you another story, the story of the starfish. You've probably heard it, but hear it again with new ears. A man is walking along a beach after a storm. The beach is littered with thousands of starfish, stranded by the tide, dying in the sun. In the distance he sees a young boy. The boy is picking up starfish, one by one, and throwing them back into the ocean. The man approaches the boy and says, "Son, there are thousands of starfish on this beach. You can't possibly make a difference." The boy looks at the starfish in his hand, throws it into the water, and says, "I made a difference for that one." The world's problems can feel like that beach. The conflict in the Middle East, the political divisions, the environmental crisis, it feels like thousands of stranded starfish. And you feel like that one boy. What can you possibly do? You can start with your starfish. What is the one thing within your control? What is the one life you can save? Your own. You can save your own life from the prison of fear. You can save your own mind from the occupation of anxiety. And then you can help the person next to you, your family, your friend, your colleague. You can be a source of calm in the chaos. You can be a voice of reason in the noise. You cannot solve the geopolitical conflict, but you can solve the conflict within your own heart. You cannot negotiate a peace treaty between nations, but you can broker a peace treaty between your own ears. And that is how you change the world, one healed heart at a time. A wave of peace starts with a single ripple. You are that ripple. Do not underestimate the power of your own tranquility. Do not underestimate the power of your own focused action. While others are shouting, you can build. While others are destroying, you can create. This is the third lesson, the power of the micro. Stop trying to change the macro. Start by mastering the micro. Make your bed, clean your room, organize your desk. These are not trivial tasks, they are declarations. They are declarations that you are in command of your immediate environment. And when you command your environment, you start to command your life. Finish that project you've been putting off. Read that book. Learn that new skill. Every small act of discipline is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every completed task is a brick in the fortress of your character. And soon you will have built a citadel so strong, that when the winds of global crisis howl, you will stand, unshaken. You will look at the storm and say, "Is that all you have?" Because you have been through the storm inside you, and you have conquered it. Now, let's talk about the future. The future is not something that happens to you. The future is something you build. You are the architect. Every thought is a blueprint. Every action is a brick. What kind of future are you building? A future based on fear, or a future based on faith? A future of limitation, or a future of expansion? The world will present you with its evidence for why you should be afraid. It will show you the missiles, the conflicts, the divisions. You must present the world with your evidence for why you have hope. You must show it your courage, your love, your relentless pursuit of your dreams. You must become living proof that the human spirit is indomitable. I want you to imagine something with me. I want you to close your eyes for a moment if you need to. I want you to imagine yourself 20 years from now. The current crisis is a paragraph in a history book. Your children or your nieces and nephews, or the young people in your life, they come to you and they ask, what was it like? What was it like during that time when everyone was so afraid? What story will you tell them? Will you tell them a story of fear? Will you tell them how you watched the news in anxiety, how you worried, how you felt powerless? Or will you tell them a story of triumph? Will you tell them how, in the midst of the uncertainty, you found your strength, how you started that business, how you mended that relationship, how you learned that skill, how you became a rock for others, how you decided that no external event would ever dictate your internal state again? The story you tell them in 20 years is being written by the choices you make today. Right now, this moment, you are choosing the ending. So choose wisely. Choose the story of the hero, not the story of the victim. The world has enough victims. It needs more heroes, quiet heroes, everyday heroes. The parent who provides a safe and loving home, the teacher who inspires a child, the entrepreneur who creates a solution, the artist who creates beauty, the friend who offers a listening ear. You don't need a cape to be a hero. You need courage. The courage to show up, the courage to care, the courage to keep going. This is the final lesson, the legacy of your spirit. You will leave a legacy. The only question is, what will it be? A legacy of worry, or a legacy of wonder, a legacy of, what if, or a legacy of even though? Your legacy is not written in the headlines of the New York Times. Your legacy is written in the hearts of the people you touch. It is written in the small acts of kindness you perform when no one is watching. It is written in the integrity you show when faced with a difficult choice. That is your true empire, that is your everlasting kingdom. No missile can destroy it, no conflict can invade it. It is built on the unshakable ground of your character. So, as you go from this moment, as you leave this video and return to your life, I want you to carry this new perspective with you. When you see the headline, Israel-Iran war imminent, I want you to see it not as a signal to panic but as a reminder to fortify your mind, a reminder to focus on your mission. A reminder to be the hero of your story. Let the chaos of the world be the background, you are the foreground. Let the noise be the static, you are the signal. You are not a leaf blown by the winds of global events, you are the tree with roots deep in the soil of your purpose. The winds may howl, the branches may sway, but you stand, you endure, you grow, you are a force of nature, you are a creator of worlds, you are the author of your story, and this is just one chapter. Make it a chapter of strength, make it a chapter of growth. Make it a chapter where, against all odds, you became more yourself than you ever thought possible. The world is waiting for your contribution. Do not let fear delay it any longer. Start today, start now, build your fortress, fight the battle for your attention, embrace the power of the micro, and leave a legacy that will echo through time. You can do this, you must do this, not just for yourself, but for all of us. We are counting on you, we are counting on your light. So, go, shine so brightly that you become a beacon for others lost in the storm. The future is not something you wait for. The future is something you build. Now, get to work.